Hey everybody, what's going on? Alan here. Welcome to the Gibson Garage Speed Shop YouTube channel. On this episode this week, we're going to be doing a huge servicing on this, I think it's an 03 Expedition. It's got the 5.4 liter Triton, 4-wheel drive, and we're going to be doing everything that I can possibly think of. Spark plugs, oil change, oil filter, transmission filter, topping the transmission fluid off, diff fluid, all the coolant. We're going to flush all the coolant out and put all fresh 6 gallons in there. And I think that's it. We're not going to touch the transfer case, but I will take a look at what's going on in the front diff and see what that takes. We're going to start with the front diff. Got my assortment of 1/2 inches. Weird thing a problem I've been having with this is I can't find anybody has full information on the differential gaskets or fluid as far as AutoZone or O'Reilly's goes. For some reason they're labeling the gasket for the front as the rear, and they only have information for the rear, but it's like in the same box as his gasket. So is that information for the front, just like the gasket is really for the front? 75-140 is what it's saying. Then I Google it and they're saying no, the front needs like 75-80 or 75-90 or 75-85 or something around there. So, you know, and then I'm looking at the back and it looks like it has RTV and it's bolted to a cross member actually. So I don't think I'm going to be servicing the back at all unless there's a drain plug. We'll look at that after this, but I know I got a gasket for this, and we're going to throw 75-140 with limited slip additive because that's what I got. And we'll take a look and see. I'm going to pull this filter first so I can then remove this drip tray out of my way to get to the rest of the diff bolts. Oh, that's nice and... Oh, that worked great. That's unbelievable. Oh. Doesn't even make sense. The hell's the tray for? Who designs a tray and puts it in the wrong spot? Genius. Unclip this little retainer for the radiator hose. Try not to break it. Then you can wiggle the hose enough to get to the bolt, a little 8mm bolt behind it. And then there's another one right here. Oh, you gotta kind of like lift up. Oh, there we go. Oop. Caught most of it. We're okay, we're okay. That's why the cardboard's there. I don't think this had a gasket either. This is all silicone. Someone goobered it up good. I don't know if that's factory or not. I was like, oh, it's not coming off. You can't forget about your degreasers in a job like this, guys. And of course, my go-to, if you've been following along, you know it's been super clean for quite some time now. Oh, this stuff just eats through this grease. that got some stuff, some gray on that. We'll just set that rock there for now. Oh, can't have that. Yeah, there we go. We'll just set it like that. We'll put some on the case in there. Yeah. Let's get this napkin out of there. Let's slide this filter back in. A new one. That's a new filter filled up with some fresh oil. That's good. Now we're gonna clean this off and we'll bolt it back on. This is just a 3/8 drive plug. So you pull this out and then we'll fill it up until it comes pouring out of there. So the front is supposed to be 75/80 and the rear just regular old gear oil. And the rear should be 75/140 synthetic with a friction modifier. And I think that's probably full. Maybe I should have used a smaller hose. Alright, it's alright. Well, they took all the 10mm bolts except for 2 out of this. It's still very full. Very messy. So it's off, and then I look in the pan. What the heck is that thing? And what does that do? Why is it sitting in the bottom of the pan? Well, there are metal chunks all around this magnet. Big metal chunks. Right there. There's one over there. There's a metal chunk here. I just pulled out. It's sitting right there. And whatever this is, doesn't look like it's broke off of anything at first glance. So apparently that plug is pushed in here during assembly, and then it's punched out at the end when they shove a dipstick into the dipstick tube, and it just sits in the pan. So one guy said, is that true? There we go. Okay, I'll clean off the edges of this with a razor blade and some brake clean, and we'll put the new pan back on with the old gasket because it's reusable and it still looks pretty good. .110 inch pounds Alright, moving along. I got the rear end up in the air now. We got to do the rear diff, and it's going to be pretty simple. Just drain and fill, and it just, again, like the front, just takes a 3/8 ratchet. But while that's draining, I'm also going to crack this open and let most of the old brake fluid drain out. Look at all the mud up in here. Ridiculous. Not all the way. Alright, I'll keep an eye on it and make sure that it doesn't drain out, you know, before, I'll fill it back up before the reservoir drains out. Ooh. Woo! That boy is tight. Now again, this one gets 75/140 with limited slip, 4 ounces of limited slip additive first, or if you have, like what I have is Mobile 1, it already has the additive included in it. Alright, with the drain plug back in, can break loose the fill plug and fill it back up. There we go. Alright. There we go. Now that both differentials are filled up, the transmission pan is back on with a fresh filter, and the engine oil filter is back on as well. We can top off the engine oil and the transmission fluid. The engine's going to need 6 quarts of 520. Transmission is going to need 4.5 to 5 quarts of Mercon 5. And the transmission fluid. While those are draining in between bottles, I'm going to start taking stuff apart here to change the spark plugs. Alright, with a 7/16, so you can get these side bolts off. Pull it over from here. So it looks like the coils are underneath the fuel rails. So that's going to be awesome. Swap out the filter while we're in here. Alright, now for flushing the radiator. On the driver's side, there's a petcock right in front. Alright, we're running out of daylight for today. We're going to have to come back. So I'm going to throw some cleaner in here and some water, and they'll go drive it around for a day or two and bring it back, and we'll flush it again, and then we'll do the spark plugs, because the fuel rails have to be removed to do those. I'm gonna put a little power steering cleaner in there too, just to, when it comes back, you guys can't even see. Well, we got the truck back. It's been like a week and a half or maybe 2 weeks since that last scene there, and it has developed a code for a misfire on cylinder 2. And I still got to drain the cleaner and water out of the cooling system and replace the spark plugs and a little bit on the power steering fluid and the brake fluid. Got to flush those out a little bit at least. But for right now, that misfire on cylinder 2, now Ford goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I first thought cylinder 2 was here, so I come over here and I'm like, oh well, the stinking nutsert is pulled out of the plastic manifold. There's nothing holding the coil down. There's your misfire. But nope, turns out cylinder 2's over there. So that was going fine. Something's wrong with this one. But obviously that's not fine. You know, that can't work. So You could try to just, I had a thought of maybe just drilling the hole out on the coil larger and then using a larger, very coarse thread screw to just, you know, force some threads into the intake manifold, and essentially. It should work, really. I mean, that could work. So first we got to change all the spark plugs and hope that number 2 isn't half broken off inside. Now I popped the heater hose out of the way and bent it back here and took out the valve because 1, I wanted to inspect it, and it is good and holding vacuum. And 2, it's, since I'm flushing out the system and wanted to inspect it anyways, just take it and get it out of the way. The PCV system is something you're probably going to want to remove, but it just pops out and you can kind of fold it over out of the way there. I plugged the valve cover with like a big rubber stopper so nothing's going to fall in there. And I've already got all the 4 coils on this side unplugged. We just got to get a 7mm and hope that these bend enough to sneak out from behind the fuel rail, and it does. Okay, so that's success number 1. We don't have to remove the fuel rails. Now the boots didn't want to come out of 2 and 4. Cylinder number 1 starting to come out, and pretty much it's already getting tight again. That's all that carbon building up. So we got to do like what you do with thread tappers, work them back and forth.
Clean it.
Oh, that one's getting stuck. I might try to throw some PB Blaster down there with it backed off a couple threads. Let's see if the PB Blaster will eat away the carbon. Oh, wait. Oh, we're getting stuck again. I'm not trying to do any thread repairs on a 5.4 Triton. I don't know how.
Anything unnecessarily.
Okay, dang. It's coming out all the way, nice and easy. I think. Let me just. Alright, number 2 is a little sketchier than cylinder 1 was, and it actually wants to get stuck trying to go back in the other way. So I am going to use some PB Blaster on this one, probably too much, but we're going to work that down there, see if that helps. Well, there we go. PB Blaster did the trick. It's sliding out. Oh.
No.
Got a little scary there at the end. This is going to be a rough day. think we're good. Oh, that thing fought me to the last thread. Jiminy. Oh, cylinder 3 came out with no problems. Oh, until now. Yeah, this came out really easy, no problems at all, like a normal plug. And number 4, oh, gave me a little trouble right away. Like just the very first turn, I had to back it off, go back down to the tightened position, and then it came out the rest of the way. Okay, so I'm gonna cover these in anti-seize, not cover them, but I'm going to put a little bit on the threads. These are a Bosch double platinum fine wire, and what came out was a Motorcraft single platinum fat wire. Now if I could have found a Motorcraft double platinum, I would have used that, but there wasn't one at AutoZone. Even though they recommended a double platinum, there wasn't a Motorcraft option. So we're gonna put some anti-seize on these threads because there is no like rainbowy zinc iridescent coating, and since they're notorious for getting stuck, better to have it on there. Now this side is a little easier, no heater hoses anyway. Just got to remove this bracket here, and then you can get to this cylinder 5. I've already replaced this one, but I do need to take the coil out so I can drill this out in preparation for my fix. But the other 3, you're just gonna have to fish in here. That rotates out of the way. That lifts up. That's not really in the way. See, I hate that they put the things on the bottom. Three little 7mm bolts. I'll get this guy out of the way. Do a little swivel. You can get the next one. Oh, hell of washers. What's going on here? Why did someone stack a ton of washers on the top of this? For the last one, you're gonna have to do 1/4" stuff because it won't fit in between the fuel rails. Oh. It's rusty back here. Going out of there. Oh, part of it. Wait. No, I think it ripped in half. Oh, that's not good. I don't know what's going on, but this wasn't even tight. Well, it came out easy. Yeah, but it's been blowing by. It's been blowing by a lot. That's crazy. Things been running like shit. Well, I couldn't get this last one out because it's the wrong size. This is 18mm. Oh man. Oh, that's scary. What the hell is this? I don't like it. Okay, well, this is unexpected. This is a tapered thread and it's larger than the original, so we're gonna have to reuse that along with the shorter boot that must have came with this kit. That's an Autolite plug, but it is a fine wire and it doesn't look like it's in that bad a shape at all. So at least there's that. Well, I'm just gonna got some fresh anti-seize on it and I'm gonna slide it back in there. Well, that worked out nicely. Let's get these other coils in, including Mr. Stubby here. And then, let's see. Alright, getting her flushed out. A lot of gross. So this cooling system is in really bad shape. After flushing it out and the cleaner and every water's just coming out clear, but if you move the hoses around and like kind of build up pressure and let it go, it will start spitting out some brown stuff again. And then I realized this coolant bottle is completely filled with mud. It's just gross in there. And then the hose that comes out of it directly, you can't see, but it is completely, it's like half the diameter full of mud in there. So we're gonna replace that hose, the big lower radiator hose, because it's at the bottom of the system and is probably clogged. We're not gonna worry about the radiator for right now, but we are gonna replace that thing. Well, I pulled the hose. I don't know if you can see it, but all the brown chunks of stuff that just came out of there, flakes. This whole system is far from clean. With the power steering pump removed, it's sitting there, and there's the oil filter. You've got a visual of the two hoses. Hoses are out. Look at this junk. Just like rust flakes. Hoses are full of it. They're super crunchy. It's got like a different angle going up there. It's a little long. So I cut off about an inch. Their cut was a little uneven. Mine's a little more perfect. Let's get it on now. So if you're needing to do a oil change, also maybe do that. Remove the filter. I was gonna try to tuck it down there. See, that would have been a lot more difficult if I hadn't cut that inch off. Oh, you're kidding me. I forgot to slide the clamp on. So I did a little more trimming. I took about 1/4 of an inch off just to bring it in a little further away from the drive shaft or the column, steering column. And I also had to cut a little more than an inch off of this end. Let's see here. And that's the other end. I had to cut a little more off of it. So that's interesting. There's a bead in there. Hope I didn't cut off something important. And now it's in, if you can see that. I did take a little bit of more trimming there. A little more trimming on this side. If I hadn't trimmed this side, then it would be bumping into the bumper back here, which it was, and it wouldn't line up with this center fastener or holder or whatever. I did manage to get it into this one, but it's not the same diameter because it's not OEM, so I can't clip it the other piece back on all the way. But it's in and it fits, it's not kinked. Well, I also had to trim an inch or so off this side because this bend was good and this length was good right here, so that's why I started on the left side. I just lined up the bends, and it was just only this left side that needed to, or right side that needed to be trimmed. Now we can slide it on. Thing is, I don't remember which is top or bottom now. I set that lower clamp up in the right direction, hopefully, and then you can see that you did it wrong. Get the hose in. Oh, you gotta put a clamp on that, can't forget that. Little slide, how does this work? I'll slide this bottom in first. Top slides in here. Ooh, too far, too far. There you go, line up the bolt holes. Oh, guess I should take that out. Alright, bottles in, hoses are hooked up, power steering pump is back on, and the reservoir, and those hoses are hooked up. So now, we just got to fill it up with some coolant. And I also need a new radiator hose that's en route as we speak. Upper one. Decided to get a new one of those as well because this one was pretty crusty after all. Alright, with the coolant now getting thrown in, we can throw on the intake tube stuff, plug in those connectors so we don't get any unnecessary check engine lights, and then wait for the thermostat to open up. Well, that's gonna do it for this video. Man, what a huge one, right? It's taken weeks to get it finished, and it's still got a misfire. I don't know, this thing might be done for. It might need new heads and like a better shop. I just need a real shop. I think it might have some vacuum leaks. It's got some rotted rubber, but at least we've got a heater and all the fluids, every single fluid's flushed out of this thing and replaced. It's got fresh spark plugs, 7 of them anyway, and hopefully it'll take care of her for a couple years. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for following along, especially if you made it this far. Thank you very much. Please like, please subscribe, hit the bell. We've got things coming up with the Chevy truck here and the Chevy Suburban. I've got to put a stop to other people's cars. I've got a car show like May 10th or something like that. I want to try to make it to Gold Rush Car Show May 10th here in Orville. Until next time, guys, peace.